Okay, okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, May 12th, 2025, and welcome to McBoss Capital live stream. My name is Michael Chu. This morning we have a powerful gap up 3% on Nasdaq right now. Dow is 2.4, S&P 2.7. Volume are substantial, as you can see, 13% on Nasdaq, 63% on New York Stock Exchange. And the primary news is basically China and US slash tariffs on both sides. And so let's go look at the news here. So the US will cut 145% down to 30% by May 14. And China will cut the 125% to 10%. So that is the big announcement. And market really likes this news. And so we're seeing the market move up substantially this morning. Let me jump to the charts here. So we're going to look at QQQ, the Nasdaq 100 ETF here. So here we are. So we have come up after the two follow through days here, right here, and it has been, it has some volatility. Like so, here's one day that is quite volatile that day, but we did close at the top here, so that's good. Then we have another pullback, pretty much early last week, right? So that was another pullback right there, and then we pretty much closed near the end, uh, near the high range of the week. So that was a positive. And then today we have the news that really shook it higher. So right now it looks like it's giving back a little bit. So we have made lower lows so far in the morning, so that could be a problem. So we'll see how growth stocks are holding up. So I say we have two double lows here. So if your growth stock hasn't made a intraday low yet, like after this early morning open, that will be a good sign. So that's usually how I look at each individual stock compared to the index and say, hey, the index has made multiple lows, but did your stock make multiple lows? Because if it didn't, then those are good, good sign that the stock may be holding up better, right? So relatively, it's performing better. So that's something we'll look at as well. Let's go look at SPY here. Very similar. So morning lows here, and then we went down further. So right now we're finding support again, but who knows, right? Like, this could trend down for the whole day. Like it's hard to say. It's so early in the morning. We could be doing that. So we hope not. We hope we can hold today's gains, and that's the key here. And we want to see many stocks continue to move higher and bounce and continue to bounce on their uptrend. So all right, those are the big one. Let me just quickly check down here. This one is very similar, and then we have Russell IWM here. This one has give back more. You can see, right? Um, yeah, but this one also I think was up the most this morning. I think just a little bit, but you can see how far it's extended from the 10 days. So I have been talking about this even on Friday that stocks are quite extended. Now there's gonna be stocks that are gonna keep going, and so but that's more risk. The further away from 10 days, the more risk there is, because we could have one of those bad days Like, tomorrow, let's just say, I don't want to knock on wood, but let's just say tomorrow we have another 2% or more down day, a lot of these stocks will get hammered, right? So just be aware. Growth stocks, they do fall more than usual. So anyhow, yeah, let's start looking at the stocks in the move here. Where are we? Okay, so we have huge volume this morning, no doubt about it. Like, on the this is only 20 stock list, and you can see at the bottom we have 110%. You know, um, so very high volume this morning. It has come down, but still it's very high compared to an average day. So we have Affirm, HIMS, Upstart, CCL, Toast, Fox A, Futu, AS, LPLA, TMDX, RRC, Guild, Fox, CLS, NXT, TTMI, ALMY, HCA, Light, and Z. So the only stock I haven't tracked yet is LPLA. Let's go take a quick look at that. So this one is moving much higher, so very strong move on the right side of the base here. So it does have one slower quarter, as you can see, it is slowing down. So um, that's probably the reason why it's not on my list. But yeah, it looks really good. It's coming back on the right side of the base. So since we're on the financial, we'll start with the financial. Affirm, Toast, and Upstart. So we'll look at those ones that have strong earnings. Here's Affirm, very strong earnings. It's improving from negative to positive, and it's still improving after that as well. So very stable sales here. We have corrected a lot on this one, and we have come back near the 200-day, about the midway point. Um, so we had earnings gap down on Friday, I believe. Yeah, probably because this is a bad day. But today it's been bouncing back quite a bit, 10% now. So yeah, I think Friday's drop was substantial, 14% drop, and so now it's bouncing back above the 200-day. Um, and one of the things that learned from experience that when the stock gets shake out like that, like a lot of people gave up, especially it broke all the moving averages, and then it comes back so strong, like it bounced back above all the moving averages the next day. Usually the fact that it can come back so fast means that there's a lot of people sold here, like maybe they have stops and so forth, and they gave up basically, right? And you can see Friday is not a good chart. It keep going down, right? So a lot of people even gave up these lows here. So now we came back, we gap up, and then we went back higher, and we keep finding higher lows now. So it's possible the sellers are done, and only buyers coming back in, but it's hard to say, right? It's too early. So, but I think it is a good risk reward ratio. So I did take a trade this morning, um, and have a very tight stop at the lows of the day. So if you go to 5-minute chart again, you can see this low here, and even here we found support here. So that looks pretty good. Okay, let's jump to Toast. This is another stock that reported last week on Thursday. Yeah, look at the earnings number, very stable, even better. Um, and this is a nice gap up. This is a nice cup with handle pattern right here. Very tight action. That is incredible tight. So volume came in and it just took off, right? Unfortunately, it is a little bit extended right now, but it's still a good breakout. I think right now is at this level. It's trying to go for the previous high. So we'll see how it handles it around this area. Um, yeah, like probably Friday would be a better risk reward ratio, but today I feel like right now it's a little bit too late to buy. But you know, but this angle is pretty sharp right now, so it could take off. So and that's what some growth stocks do when they're really strong. They will take off, it will never come back to the 10-day. At least for the short term. It could keep going and then finally it'll pull back. So you could be buying at a much higher price at that, even when it pulls back. So but it is a risk reward thing you have to kind of consider. Uh, for me, I just feel it's a little bit extended right now, but it looks really good. The chart looks really good. Okay, let's go back to Upstart. Upstart, yeah, also report earnings. Again, all these fintechs are doing really well right now with good numbers going forward. Again, very similar chart to others. Coming back, this is still below the 200-day line, the black line, but it's about the halfway point. So yeah, strong. So here's a 50-day. The 200 is rising, so I don't find that as when it's rising, I don't feel like it's a problem. So yeah, so this is let me refresh the chart here. I took a stab at it on Friday, Thursday, and then I got stopped out on Friday, but because it undercut the low. But today I think it's a good entry point because we're bouncing off again. Same thing. It did come back on Friday. Let me go to intraday chart. So it dropped. It did come back like most of the close at the high range here, and then we have a gap up today. Again, look at the lows here. We try to test it, but we found support there. So it looks really good. So actually, as we speak right now, I'm gonna put a trade on this because yeah, it looks really good. Please understand, all information I provide is for general purpose only, education only. Do not follow my trade. Please do your own due diligence and manage your own risk and so forth. Okay, so I'm just looking at Upstart right now. It's up 11.8%, and yeah, so it's a very strong move. And this is an old name, right? For a long time. Like again, a lot of fintechs has come under huge correction recently, and yeah. So let me place an order here. We'll see if it go through 52.90 is my bid right now. Most likely have to push it higher, but I'll give it just a moment. Okay, it got executed at 52.90, and as soon as I you know uh, put in my order, right away I will put my stop. Again, we already saw this, right? This is the lows of the day, and that's a good price to put your stop at, a very tight stop, which is roughly at 50.74. And if it undercut that, then I think a lot of people will have the same stop, right? So it will go down much faster after that. So that's a good risk reward level here. If it continue to bounce, then that's good. Let me just quickly. So another thing I do is I would go to my list here. Um, like Upstart, you can see is rank 87, so it's pretty high up there. And after today's bounce, like 10% bounce, it's much higher, right? The ranking, and it was on downtrend because it was at the short-term moving average, on Friday. But now we have come way above it. Not only that, we make new highs. You can see it's a higher high than previous highs here. So very powerful move today. Okay, so that's Upstart. So those are some of the good fintechs that are running right now. Again, um, unfortunately, like I said, I missed Toast. It's a little bit extended. So that there we go. Those are the ones. Okay. All right. Let me just quickly check the market here. We are at 3.3%, so we are bouncing back. So let me just jump to it right now. So this is good news because um, again, we make a high lower low, but we are bouncing back. So we haven't make a higher high yet, right? So but as long as it doesn't go down and keep making new lows, that's a good sign. So we'll see. But the day is long, so there's always risk that it could come back down. But that's why you have to manage your risk. Um, Even on a well, one on a 1 day basis. So okay, so and I talk about how this is a really bullish sentiment. Once we cross above 200 day and we have such a big gap up, like I said, the 10 days were far away. So the next couple of days, even not today, but even the next couple of days, or even this week, we could be pulling back. Um, and and we could also have a very bad day if some bad news come out. But so those are things to keep in mind. Those are your risks. But at the same time, this opened the gate for many institutions because they now say, hey, now that the tariff is much better with China and US, which are the two biggest economic power, things could really flow from here, right? Like we could climb back to the previous high. Um, Now, like people could see that. So short term we may have turbulence, but long term we may, and this 10-day moving average is going to keep climbing. So all right. So let's go back to the stocks on the move here. Um, so next area is we're going to look at tax now. Let me just jump back to stocks on the move. I just want to make sure there's nothing that come up that I miss here. Again, you can see toes up here. Um, yeah, talk about hymns. Hymns is very powerful right now. We talk about Affirm already, Upstart, like those three stocks we just talked about. CISO is very strong too, but is missing a 1/4 of earnings for me. But yeah, hymns. Yeah, let's jump to hymns since it's one of the powerful stock. Let's jump to hymns. So hymns, like look at how far it's extended. Like so Thursday, Friday it pulls back. I had to trim, right, to manage some profit there. But today, look at that bounce. It just boom. Like it's so far off the 10-day now. It's definitely extended. Um, this is this is a very sharp rise, very sharp. Like this angle is like 65-degree angle, right? Very sharp. Like it almost feel like this, right? So at some point it's gonna do a climax run. I feel like it's gonna do a climax run, and then it's gonna fall hard just like here, right? So you gotta be aware of those, right? But at the same time, we have no idea how far it can go. As more people catch on to this stock, it's gonna fly, and we're gonna have those big days up too, right? But we haven't seen that yet, so we, again, those are risk reward ratio you have to like take for yourself. Um, yeah, like today is too big of a bounce. I would like to add to it, but I feel like because like I said, the 10 days so far down here, I feel like there's more risk than reward, right? So looking at intraday, sorry, my not sure why it's taking some time to load here. Hold on. So all right. See some people are watching right now. So thank you for joining this live stream. I do this every day. If you like what I'm doing, please like and subscribe. Okay, I'm still waiting for this thing to load. Something happened. I might have to close this window. I apologize for this. This don't usually happen. So I'm gonna close this and start over because it's just not working right now. So I'm gonna close everything here. Just give me 1 second here. So yeah, thank you to all those who joined the stream right now. I'm really glad that you guys are joining. So we'll come back to the market search 2 right now. It just takes a second to load here. Hopefully it's faster now. Technical difficulty that happens. Okay, so intraday, um, we did test the low this morning. So and so far the bounce is a little bit weaker than I would like, right? You can see it came up to the halfway level and then it gives up, right? So so yeah, I would hold on. I think I would hold off. Like I think there's a high chance it could come back down. So just be cautious about that. Again, I said I don't buy when it's so far off the 10-day. It's just not worth the risk. This is way extended. It could go a lot higher. I'm not saying it wouldn't. This is one of those stocks that could do that. Look at this run right here. So anyhow, so that's the one. Like I still have position in this, but like I say, I'm not gonna add to it right now. It's just too far off. Uh, okay, and yeah, probably Friday would be. Um, I didn't add to it unfortunately. Friday, I wish I did, but I didn't. So today we have a nice gap up, right? So that would be the better time to have added. So anyhow, can go move on, can live, can dwell in the past and yeah. So that's hymns. Let me go back to stocks on the move for a second here. So we're still doing good, 3.4%. Market is generally holding the low, so I think that's a good sign. Um, so let me go back to stocks on the move here. I just want to make sure I cover most of the stocks. I only have a few minutes left. Okay, so I think we talk about the top five here. We have Carnival, Fox AS, CJ Futu, Fox NXT, LPLA, TMDX, Geo, RRC, um, CLS. So let's talk about some of this. So most of them don't have the earnings that meet my fundamental criteria, but if it does meet yours, feel free to look at them. So the yellows, for those who haven't seen this, the yellow are like that met my fundamental criteria. Okay, so then if it met my fundamental criteria, then it could be on my watch list, and I'll watch them or I'll start to trade them. And so app living here, bouncing back on the right side. This is obviously a big star from before. Um, and even here, this one is shorter, just a few days bounce there. But right now we are climbing back. There's something wrong with market search today. I apologize for this because usually it's much smoother and it loads a lot faster, but today I'm not sure what's happening. So anyhow, it's loaded here. You can see we barely make a new high, but it's still a big bounce, 8%. Um, again, could we add to this? Yes, it's possible. The problem with gap up is like there's a lot of risk with gap ups, and but if it holds, I could add to this. Like this is a nice intraday support level, right? So that could be your risk level, and you could enter here or you could add to here. So that's a tight stop on this low here. But still, right, you have to understand we are very far off the 10-day. So if we just like Friday, you see how bad it can drop. Like we could have another day like that, right? So that's the trick here. So it was down, okay, not too bad, 3%. So yeah, but this one looks pretty good right now, I would say. So we'll see. I might add to this uh over, as the day progress, I'm gonna start to add to some stocks that and you can see I took some profit here, so my position is probably not as big anymore, probably less than half now, so I might want to add back to this. Yeah, we'll see. So potential add, I'll just put the word here, potential add here. Light is it's a telecom service area, very strong. Momentum, it broke above 200 day. It was pulling back Thursday, Friday. Very tight action. Volume came down, and then now again. So this is the common theme today. A lot of stocks look extended, and we just got to see like this one already reversed. Um, so that's the risk you get, right? If you bought this morning, you are now in the red. So and then you can see the bounce so far has been a little bit weaker. Um, it hasn't come back much yet. But as the day progresses, it could improve. But right now, it's just too close. Like we could have one bad bar and home. We already cut the lows here. So so I would wait for this. Like I say, I don't mind buying higher. The goal is not about whether you're buying lower or higher. It's about what is the probability that it will continue the uptrend? And that's the question you have to constantly ask yourself. Okay, let's look at SIT. So this one possible. I don't have a position in this possible. Um, we'll see. As the day progresses, if this day continue to show strong momentum, and not only that, like if I see growth stocks continue to make new highs, that is the where, like, look at this one. This is SITM, semiconductor fabless. This is very strong move. So let me just quickly check the intraday chart. So here's the low in the first 15 minutes. It hasn't made higher high, so that's the only problem so far. But it's holding pretty tight. Okay, we just see one little blip down again. So that's the problem. You don't know, right? We're still early in the day. Lots of risk could happen still. And not only that, tomorrow is a new day. Who knows? Bad news could come out. But it's looking very good because it's holding near the highs. It's at the top 30% range. Very powerful move so far. But of course, this is super extended. As I mentioned earlier, I don't buy stocks that are quite extended. Okay, so that's SITM. I'm gonna go to Billy. This is now in the retail sector. This is Chinese stock. Because of the Chinese news, I think a lot of Chinese stocks are moving today. Okay. Yes, we are having problems with market search today. It's loading slower than usual. So here we bounce from right there, and then come up. So this looks a little bit of a laggard. But today's move is 6%, 7%, not too bad. It came up to the 50-day. Um, it's trying to hold the lows this morning, so we'll see how that goes. Next we have SEC Limited. Let me jump back to the day. So we pull back on Friday, and today, this morning, it looks like it's already reversing. So that is a problem. So this is exactly what we don't want to see. We don't want to see stocks coming back down. It's still okay. It's not like super bad, but you see, it's having a hard time making higher highs, right? So that's always a problem. Okay, CLS. Again, last week, Thursday, Friday, this one pulls back. Today, it kind of, I don't know if we make a new high, pretty close. We can go intraday chart and see, but it has reversed this morning. So when it reversed, doesn't mean it's all bad because it's still an update, right? It's still a gap update, it's still update. Um, but we do want to see it find support at the lows. That's the more important thing to me. We want to see support, and so far it's been holding the lows. But it could break it sometime today. You don't know that, and that's what we're looking for. And then if the market able to close strong, we want to see this stock eventually come back up and close at least above the upper range, right? That's what we're looking for. And yeah, um, so I will wait. And again, this is potential add here because we already have 2 days of pullback, and if we close strong today, that'll be really good. And it's not too far off the 10-day compared to other stocks. So potential add here. We already look at HIMS, HCA. This one's doing good too. Stable earnings coming down a little bit, but it still looks okay. And yeah, looks okay. I don't. It's not on my what buy list because HCA. Let me just check on my ranking list. It's pretty far down. It's ranked 200, so it's not a fast mover. So that's the only problem. Not that it can't move fast. It hasn't, like, it's moving pretty nice right now actually, but um sometimes my ranking depends on where I started, right? So if it started around there, then it might, that's probably why it ranks so low. Yeah, because I started in April 7, which is the low in the market, and it was pretty high up here, so that's why the ranking is much lower. But it looks pretty good though right now. It's very volatile today though. It's already give back half the gains. So you can see we have a nice. This is interesting because it didn't gap up like other stocks did. It just went up slowly. That's plus 3 bars. This is 5 minute bars, and then it came down. So we'll see if it knock out this low or not. Okay, we're near the end here. There's one oil and gas stock here, RRC. So I haven't bought any oil and gas stock, but there is a couple. Is this is one of them today, moving really strong. Um, yeah, but in general, oil price has been kind of trending down, but today it moved up pretty big. So that gives momentum to some of these stocks here. So there are some oil and gas stocks that are doing well, but it's yeah, they're not ranked really high though. But this one is coming up fast, so maybe it is ranking higher now. 245, so nine at 9% performance at 3%. It's still pretty low. So I try not to buy anything in the 200 range on my ranking because to me those are laggards. All the best stocks should have run already. So that's pretty much it for today. We already talked about the financials. I know some stocks like this morning I saw Tesla move up pretty big. Let me see where it's at right now. I did take a position on Friday. If you watch my weekend videos, I talked about it. It was a very powerful move on Friday. It's not the strongest stock. I make an exception for this stock because this stock doesn't. It trades on like really strong momentum, and so I got in it for that reason. Again, I apologize today. Market search is way slower than usual. I'm not sure why. So looking at the daily chart, here's the tight, really tight trading here. Friday we came out, and today we gap up. Right now it's up 6%. Very powerful move. So yeah, so I'll end it there. Thank you for watching this stream. Hope you guys have a very nice trading day and nice day. If the market can close strong, that'll be a really good sign. Um, but when market come gap up this much early in the week, they usually fall back down throughout the rest of the week, and then maybe we can close strong at the end of the week. So just beware of that, okay? So buy stocks that are not too far extended, and so forth. Thank you for watching this. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.